All right, one little point I want to make here. I set up last year, see, straight over and then about 20 yards down. Last year I was set up about right in here for deer season. To where I'm at, on that other edge of this, on high grass, estimate 100 yards. That's doing a rough, very rough measurement. I have about a 30-inch step naturally, so it's about 33 steps. Now, yeah, about 30 steps, about 908 inches is about 80 yards. So, I mean, I'm eyeballing that guess there, rough guessing. But here we go, here's what I wanted to show you. Massive trail path. You'll see it right there, and then you'll see all the way down and throughout, just on the edge, it weaves back and forth on this shit. That's a travel path. I know that's a travel path. And again, this is just all the stuff I'm looking at. I doubt there's going to be any scrapes out yet, any rubs out yet. That's usually not till end of October, first part of November. Today is October 6th as we're recording this. So, and I am good. Guesstimate 2 to 3 weeks before any rub. This would really start up here. But I've already had cameras out for 2 months. Because you never know when something's going to pop. But I'll let me shift gears here, head to the other set of cameras, and I'll walk you through again kind of what I look at, what I'm looking for. Right there. See all this tree line. My camera's set up about right there. But what this all is right here is open area that they'll come up and down. I've seen deer cross this hundreds of times on trail cameras. I've seen foxes, I've seen coyotes, I've seen raccoons, possums. I know this is a heavy traffic area. And it's just coming out early doing this, watching the ground. Not a deer path. Coyote would be my guess here. But right here. That little hole right there. Now it's got grass pushed down all around it. And then butt shoots straight down the river. Creek, water. Would shock me if there isn't something walking that. But I'll get back to you here in a sec. Alright, spot here. I had camera last year. I didn't put one up here this year, but I'll show you the angle here again. I'm just sitting like that. What I'm doing. My camera will hit about 70 feet, 80 feet. I think it's rated for 100. What that tells me is, I don't know how well you're going to see it. Right on the bank here, there's that little tree that falls down. And then behind it, there's a branch that just kind of kicks out like that. That's 100 feet. But this is just, again, covering a massive trail. Had another camera down here. Deer are lazy walkers for the most part. If they can avoid the hard climbs they're going to around here, northwest Iowa. So if I see something like this, and the undergrowth has really grown up this year, so some of these paths are harder to see. But last year there was crisscrossing all through here. So I last year had a camera pointing back, just trying to watch my angle here. And I'm looking for the specific tree because I have them marked. But it was essentially pointed like this, because it would cover all of this. Even now you can still see open travel paths all throughout all of this. A lot of open walkway. But it pointed back and it saw me, let me see an 11 point last year. A lot of undergrowth disturbance in here. What you see is all this top layers good and tall. But look under it. Trace it, and I'm going to use a cigarette here, help point. Right up in here, you can kind of see it there. But then all throughout down in here, under this overgrowth. That overgrowth is essentially putting a shield over the top. And then everything under the shield you see just gets walked through and treaded over a lot. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Here we go. That bush looks to the ground, because I'm looking probably 30-degree angle. But if you get down close, it's pretty light cover till you get about a foot off the ground. Then the brambles and the stickers and the cockleburs and all that fun shit reach up and grab you. Massive bedding area right here. Doubt this is a deer. This to me looks coyote. But again, just looking back into that, it looks impenetrable, but if you get back in there, if you actually look back into it some. Alright, with this is a perfect example. First 10-15 feet it looks pretty thick, but I don't know if you saw it, bunny rabbit was running. But you get back in there 15-20 feet, it opens up pretty lightly. That's what I'm looking for. That's the challenge of just walking and trailing these new areas that I don't know. This is on the north side of where I hunted last year. I did not hunt this at all last year. Another little pathway opening here. This one's pretty good size. See a little trail coming from the left here and then back in. And then you can kind of see it meanders through back there. But I'll show you again here. Shelter right there. Shelter right there. Food. This will all stay fairly exposed all winter. Water is just over the other side of this hill here. Another little walking path right in there. That's pretty good size. That one may be deer. Alright, coming up on trail camera here, but I just noticed this. This is all bed down area. You can see again, all this grass is pushed, travel. What I didn't notice before now was there's a pathway back into this woodway here. And we're starting to get a few sprinkles here, so doesn't hurt my feelings. but look at all this pushed down grass, all these broken twigs, all this pushed down area. My guess, just from the area and what I've already seen on camera, this big area is deer bed down. But you have coyote and fox moving all throughout here. Raccoon, possums. This is a travel corridor, because right across the way, and it's 30 yards, if that, is open pathway to the river. Alright, what I want to show you here, this is likely raccoon. I don't know how well you can see it here, but right up in here, there's a lot of bent over grass. This whole line right here is pretty well bent over. And again, open path right to the creek, right there. And here, we'll count it from one edge of the field to the other. We'll just do rough. 30-inch steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 65s. But I mean, push down grass again, and then as you're looking back in through here, all I can see is just trails. Push down trail there. Push through area there. Littler right in here, not as big. So I mean, the raccoon or coyote right in through here would be my guess. Again, just further you get behind some of this shit, look through some of this breakout points and look down. You have to remember, for me at least, all these leaves are going to be gone. I'm going to be able to see back into here. My deer season doesn't start till December. But getting out here, here we go. Great view of just how much this opens up. I mean, you can barely see through this tree line here. But you get right on that other edge of it, and it is wide open. Just wide open back there. To me, that's screaming travel lane. So that's why I've got camera pointing that way off of what I believe is a trail. Another little footpath right through there. And just see it, how that grass is just laid down awkwardly. That's kind of what I peek my eyes at, what keeps my eyes peaked. Just what doesn't look natural to how things are laid down. Alright. Catch you on the next little point here. Alright. Again, when I'm talking, it's just walking trails, walking paths. This one you can hopefully see on camera. But down here close, it actually wides out. It's a pretty big area that's all pushed way down. But then you get behind this broken tree here, and we're right on river's edge, creek line edge, with pushed down grass. Like I said, it's probably, ouch, a little early to be looking for rubs, scrapes, rut is about 3 weeks away. But look right there, there's a bed area. All that grass just pushed way down like that. That telling me something's laying there. Little safe plateau that deer, animals in general, can sit and relax and play. I don't think this is a push. I don't think this is a bed area. I think this is just travel path. But you can see right up in here, you can even see it in the dirt almost. Just this very naturally worn in travel path. So that kind of is what's showing me on there. Almost looks like somebody's been collecting wood up here, but I don't know who would. I've never seen that much wood laid that neatly, but we're just walking through what I think is a travel path. All this just laid down grass here. Nothing real big, but coming up to a camera. Okay, I want to show you just how deceiving some of this stuff can be here. Wish I could zoom in on the camera, but in here it looks pretty dark and thick. But as you're walking, you see there's so many little back paths in and through. So for me, when I'm scouting new area the first time, I do a lot of walking. It can be 10, 12 miles. Because I'll go in and I'll check all that wooded area, that thicker stuff that I just can't see. Just to see what it actually shows me. Because you never know. 10, 15 feet on the back side may open up into another shot like this, where this is all open ground. All right, this camera here is doing double duty. I've got it watching across the way, multiple little trail paths out. Okay, straight ahead, there's this little brown patch, but it looks like it's, I think it's Missouri goldenrod back there on both sides, the yellow flower. But I know I've walked it enough times that that's a trail path. I've got another camera down at the point there, pointing back this way. And there's about a 20-yard jump back further. That opens up. But what this camera is also watching is all of this. There are multiple holes and some feces of animals. What caught my eye initially was just the holes. It took, and then all through back in here you see a lot of playing area, a lot of area. Grass has been pushed down. I mean, this shows it here. You can see all this little area where there's grass knocked down and it's not standing upright. Took me a little bit to figure out what it was, but not a badger. Not the badger I thought it initially was. It's a family of raccoons. Because I've seen it on camera coming out of this hole right here and going back into this one. So what it tells me, in my fully uneducated opinion, is that these raccoons have taken over the hole of something else and decided to make it their own. But what makes this little hole here so special, trail there, I'm 99% sure that's a deer path. You can see kind of the orange and red tree limbs right in there. Ducks down. This is on into a bowl. I showed you the south side of this bowl earlier. Opens up into all of this. But throughout all these backside woods, you see all these little runs at 10-15 feet beyond the edge. They open up. A lot of guys would sit their stuff right in the edge of the tree line there, or get down on the creek line. Most guys wouldn't sit out here. Just, this is that bowl. This is what I think they do. I think they sit down here during the day, during the hot season. Fairly shaded, really close to water. And then, because I've got not a whole lot of activity during the day yet, which is about right for about 3 weeks pre-rut. 2-3 weeks pre-rut. But about sundown, an hour after or so, all of a sudden that camera specifically gets really busy. I've got it set to record 15-second videos, and there was one night it recorded over 215-second clips just based on movement, and that one's only set, I think, to go 50 feet, 60 feet. It's not a real deep, dark camera. It's one of the first ones I had. It's cheap. Truthfully, it's going to get upgraded in the next year or two. But no, I mean, alfalfa stubble around here for a lot of food source. Alfalfa is just something that a lot of farmers leave in the ground year round. For around here, conservation does it too. But then you have, like, I don't know all of these weeds. This is wild onion. This right here is wild onion. Then you have some mullein. I think it's wild plantain. All throughout this area. But it's all different food sources deer around here love. And I'm sure you've heard it a few times throughout. There's some construction guys working a couple miles down the road. As quiet as it is, you're going to hear that stuff boom all day. It is also squirrel hunting season. So it honestly kind of shocks me. I haven't met a squirrel hunter out here. But I don't know. Don't know where I was going with that thought. But I mean, as you can tell, even it's sprinkling right now. Not really raining, not even really sprinkling, just more spitting here and there. Right on other side of that big tree, water's only 20 feet away. And you have massive areas that, like this, that look like They've been laid down on for a long time, bedded down. Deer rub on here, but I'm betting it's probably 3 years old. It's just, this is the little... Alright, I just want to use this point quick to show how deceiving some of these paths can be. We are literally going to do nothing more than move 15 foot. Coyote. Or a possum trail right between those two uprights. I can see it. You don't see anything else, don't see anything else, but then you move 15 foot and all of a sudden you see another pathway break open right in there. And all that is because I'm willing to put time down on the ground. I'm willing to put hours walking this stuff. Last year I had a camera up here just overlooking all of this general area, and it was heavily trafficked area. And I'm walking the main trail now, but if you didn't know this was the main trail, look at this. Look how beat down and how walked through all of this is. But that's what I look for. Not necessarily the most obvious rubs. But more along the lines of, where's my traffic? Where's my footpaths? Where are the ways these deer are going to take that are easy for them? All we're doing again is just showing little play area. I think it's a bed personally. I think it's multi-species bed down area. And then with this year being a lot wetter than last year, I took out the cameras that looked over all of this. Looks phenomenal. I know it's a travel spot, but it's so soggy bottom, nothing's going to be easy to get in there. I had a camera last year up on that tree, aiming that way. And I had at least 4 different deer come up and literally lick that camera. Like I could have got a tongue print off of 4 of them. And all we're seeing here is just travel paths. Right here, big one if you can see it. Get through the edge of this where it starts to dip down and then you see it opens up. Smaller little game path right in here, but same idea. When I say last year we were dry and this year we're going to be soggy bottomed, heavy, here's what I mean. This was all dry over here last year. This year we've got, oh, I bet a good foot of standing water on that edge. So it's always one of those, the only way you're going to know on some of this is get out here and walk it, and walk hours. It is October. I started walking this in July. I didn't put cameras out till mid-August. Usually what I do is I come out Saturdays. College football season, I can throw the game on the radio, have an earbud in, and come out and look at everything. And I'll spend 2-3 hours out here. Backside of the bowl is right there. So I mean, as far as the crow flies, we're not too far from where I initially came in. But even here you can see a lot. Again, just another little travel path right here. Good one to show you how the grass is kind of V'd out a little bit. It kind of pushes out from the center. What that tells me is that something's dragging belly right in that area. Something's got a belly that grass is getting pushed out by consistently. Stuff you'll pick up. I believe this is wild moodland. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, please. But wild raspberries, wild blueberries all grow wild throughout this area. A lot of old mulberry trees. For deer, this is a buffet. They can get about anything they want coming back in here. Here we go. Big, wide open run. Here, we'll walk it. See it? Right? There. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera, but trail path here dives back in, dives down, and then curls back between these two trees here. I mean, you see a lot of area here. That may be, no, that's fallen tree branch. But that's the kind of stuff I look for. Where are these travel paths? Because most likely when I get mine this year, if I take one, I have to haul this sumbitch out by myself. And if it's anything like some of the monsters that have already come out from the area and from this quarter of the state, there's some biggies. So it's always something to be watching out for. There's trail path there. A lot of wear down areas. You can see it. Just the more your eyes get used to doing it and looking,